Hello everyone, OHM Railroader here. Today we're going to be staining our ties for our hand-laid HO track. All right, let's get into it. All right, so in the last video we got our ties laid down on our road bed, and this glue has been drying for several days. It's been clamped down. I think it's ready to go. We're actually going to be doing the staining part today. Very simple tools. I've got a small brush here, a small sanding block. I'm actually not sure of the grit on that, but we don't have to sand too much on these ties. We just want to kind of take it down, make a nice level surface. And the stain that we're going to be using is very commonly available Minwax Dark Walnut 2716, very dark. As you can see, we're outside today. And let me show you again what the finished product kind of comes out to be when we use that Minwax stain. You can see, at least in my opinion, it looks fairly prototypical. It actually kind of creates in the natural sunlight and even indoors, to me it kind of looks like there's some natural fading going on that you see out on the prototype, with the creosote starting to evaporate or break down and take the color out a little bit. But you know, we're going to put this on and kind of wipe it down and let it dry, and take what are I guess, you know, the basic ties that we have here, the factory finish. We're going to kind of darken that up. Now the first step that I do is I'm just going to lightly sand the top of these ties, just to kind of make sure and even out the surface, to get them all on a even plane here. Now when I say I'm going to lightly sand, I'm talking very, very little pressure. I'm barely pushing down on this at all. And we should see there's just a little bit of dust accumulating, but we're taking the top finish off and kind of getting it nice and smoothed out among all the different ties. I kind of feel a high spot right there. You really don't need to do too much. And again, this is a diorama that we're doing. So if you look real close here, you can see the dust particles generated from that sanding. I'm gonna get a little more here on the end. If you notice, I'm wearing these gloves here. These are the nitride style gloves, and you don't want to get any of this stain stuff on you, that's for sure. I'm gonna take this off camera and kind of blow it out here. All right, so what we're left here with is a very lightly sanded tie surface that we're now going to stain. And the color is going to be drastically darker, of course. We're going to see a lot of the striations and the natural fibers of this balsa wood come out. I'm using these balsa wood ties because, to me, I think they look better than the other types of woods out there. But I've heard that balsa wood's probably not good for an actual layout. It breaks down over time, kind of collapses, crushes easy. I'm not sure, honestly, but for the purposes of what we're doing here, I think balsa wood is a pretty good choice. I'm just putting down a fairly liberal layer here. And any of the excess we're going to take care of with our rag. We're just going to get a nice top coat down on the surface, and we'll take care of the sides as our next step here. Doesn't take much to do this. There's really, honestly, there's really nothing to the staining process. It's one of those things that I guess it's kind of impossible to truly mess up. just gonna keep going here. And a little bit of this stain, especially when you're doing dioramas, just goes a long way. And this stain, actually, just to let you know, is what our club uses as a standard stain for, I believe all of our mainline runs are stained with this Minwax 2716. I think it's about $5 for an 8-ounce size here. So we're just about done here with the top coat. And this is the only coat that I put on. I only do this once. And to me, it seems to come out just fine. Just kind of catch everything there. Put my brush down here to the side. And you know, you can see we've got a nice coat on there. The way this kind of runs, it kind of gets the ends of the ties already. These are low profile ties, if I haven't mentioned that before, which means they're not prototypical height. And that's okay, because when you're ballasting, you know, you're not going to see that anyway, and you use less ballast. So I'm actually kind of going in here and getting the sides of a few that need it. Just kind of go down the ends here. Flip this around. All right, now we're gonna take our rag, and this is just a standard shop rag that I'm using here, nothing special. And we're gonna wipe this down. Just kind of more or less soaking it up and also kind of pressing it in a little bit. Nothing too special here. And what we're left is a nice soaked tie surface that's full of stain and will look good when we start to spike our rail. And that's really all there is to it. We're gonna let that dry. I might wipe this up a little bit more off camera, but essentially that's staining the ties. And our next step after this is we're gonna begin setting the initial rail on one side and getting the other side gauged up. We'll run a couple spikes through. But by the end of the series here, I think I'll do this in at least 3 videos. I might do 4, at least for the track laying. I might extend it to 5 to do ballasting. But the 3rd video, we're just gonna lay down rail and spike it every few ties just to get it engaged. And we'll be doing that by hand. So here you are. This is a stained set of ties, and we're ready to go. So let me know what you think. Please feel free to share a note below with your thoughts, questions, comments, or criticisms rather. And just know that I enjoy sharing with the model railroading community. So please consider liking this video and subscribing to my channel to see the new things to take a look at, figure out, learn, or build, or explore. And remember to have fun. Thanks again. Bye.